Right after NBA YoungBoy's concert in New Orleans, chaos broke loose as the streets flooded with screaming fans chasing after him. But the night took a shocking twist when cops showed up and hauled him away in front of everyone. Now reports are flying that he's officially banned from performing anywhere in Louisiana. So, what exactly went down? And what comes next? Let's break it all down. The city of New Orleans was on fire that night. It's October 19th, 2025, and the Smoothie King Center is absolutely packed out. This was NBA YoungBoy's first time performing in Louisiana in 7 long years. And every inch of that arena was filled with die-hard fans who'd been waiting like it was their last chance to see him. Green lights, his signature color that stands for the never broke again grind and loyalty through the chaos, glowed across the crowd as the bass hit and thousands screamed his name. This wasn't just another rap concert. Nah, this was a full-blown homecoming for one of the most streamed, most talked about rappers alive. But here's the real tea. This night was way deeper than a regular tour stop. This concert was part of NBA YoungBoy's huge MASS tour, short for Make America Slime Again, just in case you didn't know. It's a massive 45-city arena tour that kicked off in Dallas in September 2025 and was scheduled to finish up in Seattle by mid-November. The production was on superstar level, massive stage setups, full light shows, and pyro explosions lighting up the sky like the 4th of July. Opening acts included big names like Offset, 2C, and No Cap. Every stop was a movie. The visuals, sound, and energy were insane, pulling from YoungBoy's ridiculously deep catalog of 26+ albums and mixtapes. Fans were locked in, spitting every lyric word for word. But here's where things start to get really serious. The New Orleans Police Department came out in full force for this one. They weren't taking any chances. Over 400 officers were stationed across the French Quarter and the central business district near the arena. Yeah, you heard that right, 400. Tactical units were on standby, surveillance drones flew overhead, and even armored vehicles were positioned around the area. Why so much security? Well, YoungBoy's tour had already been wild. Fights, cancellations, unexpected chaos, and the city wasn't trying to let New Orleans become the next viral disaster. To keep things smooth, the venue enforced a strict no-bag policy. No purses, no backpacks, nothing but your ticket and your vibes. NOPD Assistant Superintendent Hans Ganthia even issued a public statement warning fans to leave their guns at home and not stash them in their cars to avoid break-ins. The message was simple: no drama, no nonsense, no excuses. And honestly, it worked. Inside the arena, everything went flawlessly. The show was legendary. YoungBoy tore through hit after hit, blending his raw, pain-filled lyrics with stories of loyalty and street survival. His stage presence proved exactly why he dominates YouTube with over 15 billion views. Fans were going word for word all night. The production looked cinematic, backup dancers in camo, symbolic coffin entrances, and lights painting every beat. It was electric. When the concert ended around midnight, everyone left buzzing with energy, talking about how it was one of the craziest nights they'd ever seen. But then, things took a wild left turn. Around 1 or 2 a.m. on Monday, October 20th, his 26th birthday, by the way, YoungBoy made a move that turned the city upside down. Instead of laying low or celebrating privately, he decided to take a late-night stroll through downtown New Orleans. No big entourage, just about 8 people rolling with him, and surprisingly, no personal security. He was spotted walking near Canal Street and Bourbon Street, 2 of the busiest spots in the French Quarter. Think about it, one of the most recognizable rappers in the world, fresh off a sold-out homecoming show, casually walking where all his fans just poured out minutes earlier. What did he expect to happen? Videos from that night show him rocking a black jacket and shades, moving calmly through the crowd. At first, everything was chill. A few fans spotted him, ran up for photos, showed love, and told him how proud they were. You could feel the genuine energy. But then social media kicked in. Word spread faster than wildfire. Within minutes, the small crowd turned into hundreds of people swarming the area, flooding the street, yelling his name, reaching for selfies, and surrounding him from every side. What started as a casual walk quickly turned into complete mayhem. The crowd spiraled out of control almost instantly, turning what started as a spontaneous, feel-good street moment into a dangerous situation where movement became nearly impossible. That's when the NOPD officers already stationed around the area from the concert stepped in fast. Multiple clips, both from police surveillance and countless fan phones, show how the scene unfolded in real time. In one viral video making rounds online, about 4 to 6 officers can be seen physically lifting YoungBoy by his arms and shoulders, guiding him backward through the mob toward a nearby unmarked vehicle. Fans completely lost it, screaming his name, pushing forward, trying to get one last glimpse as police fought to carve a path through the chaos. What stands out most in that footage is YoungBoy's reaction. He's not resisting violently or causing a scene, but he clearly doesn't want to leave. You can see it in his body language. This was his city, his crowd, his moment, and now he's being pulled away from it. Still, the extraction only lasted a few minutes before police got him out safely without resorting to any serious force beyond what was necessary to clear space and keep everyone protected. No guns were drawn, no rough tactics, just a quick, controlled response to prevent things from spiraling into something much worse. Later, the NOPD released an official statement confirming there was no criminal activity whatsoever. No arrests, no charges. This was purely about crowd management and public safety, both for YoungBoy and for the hundreds of fans packed into those narrow streets. From the moment the crowd began swelling to the time YoungBoy left in that car, the entire ordeal lasted under 10 minutes. But those 10 minutes said a lot. They showed just how powerful and emotional his bond with his fans truly is, especially in a city that means so much to his story. And here's the surprising part. This incident didn't derail the tour schedule one bit. His second show at the Smoothie King Center went down the very next night, October 20th, with even tighter security and heavy police presence still posted around downtown and the French Quarter. YoungBoy's choice to walk among his people wasn't just a random act, it was a statement about his roots in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, the same places that shaped his music and identity. Footage from that night still circulates online, showing fans decked out in green, chanting his lyrics, and celebrating him with a mix of love, loyalty, and pure chaos echoing through the streets. But even though New Orleans managed to control the mayhem, this moment was just a glimpse of the wild ride that's been following NBA YoungBoy's tour from city to city. It's been dubbed the tour from hell for a reason. Beefs, brawls, cancelled venues, and non-stop controversy. Let's keep it real. This MASS tour, Make America Slime Again, has been one of the most unpredictable and headline-grabbing tours in recent rap history. It marks YoungBoy's first full-scale headlining arena run, a 45-date national circuit organized by Live Nation in collaboration with his Never Broke Again label. The numbers are massive, sold-out arenas coast to coast, tickets ranging anywhere from $50 for the upper decks to over $500 for exclusive VIP passes. The tour's pulling in millions, proving YoungBoy's commercial dominance and cultural reach. But behind those packed venues and money milestones is a trail of wild security incidents, backstage fights, and cancellations that sound more like movie scenes than concert footage. The problem started almost as soon as the tour kicked off in Dallas on September 1st, setting off a chain of chaos that would trail them city after city. On September 10, 2025, during the second stop at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, a full-blown fight broke out in the crowd just as YoungBoy performed his track Lonely Child. Clips from that jam-packed 20,000-seat arena show nothing but mayhem. Fans pushing, punches being thrown, people falling over seats, and security sprinting from every angle trying to break it all up. The brawl spread through multiple rows, forcing short pauses in the show while staff worked to regain control. Shockingly, no arrests were made, and the concert went on once order was restored. But that moment was the first real warning that this tour was going to be far from peaceful. And only a few days later, the situation exploded into something way more serious. On September 21, 2025, at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri, an incident took place that stunned everyone and raised serious alarms about fan conduct and safety procedures. Footage started circulating online showing a violent encounter between a teenage fan and an older arena employee that quickly became one of the most alarming scenes of the entire tour.
But at this specific concert in Kansas City, at the T-Mobile Arena, there was an elderly man in the video that is seen being attacked by a younger guy, like a really younger guy.
Elderly man was at the show, or was
the
he
elderly
working?
man was working at the arena. He was
security, right?
Yeah, he was security. They have a different name for him.
A 14-year-old fan reportedly attacked a 66-year-old usher. Yeah, you heard that right. A teenager swinging on a senior staff member, punching and kicking him in a video that instantly went viral across social platforms. The venue's VP of Sales and Marketing, Shawnee Ross, released a statement addressing the injuries suffered by several employees who needed on-site medical treatment before being taken to a hospital for additional care. That footage was immediately turned over to local police. The teen was detained that same night, and prosecutors took over the case soon after. This wasn't just some random scuffle. This was a serious assault that instantly brought up concerns about entry rules, crowd management, and the kind of wild, unpredictable energy surrounding NBA YoungBoy's live shows. But the most dramatic setbacks weren't even from fights. They came from full-on cancellations, often triggered by major security fears connected to YoungBoy's high-profile feud with Chicago rapper Lil Durk. And that beef isn't just rap talk or online trolling. It's tied to real-world violence stemming from the 2020 killing of King Von and other tragic fallout. The biggest cancellation hit on September 24, 2025, when Chicago's United Center abruptly pulled the plug on YoungBoy's concert just one day before it was set to happen. The arena's official announcement said they couldn't guarantee crowd safety after receiving intel about possible violence related to the ongoing rivalry. Think about that. A top-tier venue in one of America's biggest cities openly admitting they couldn't protect people if the show went down. Fans who already had tickets, some who had even arrived near the arena, were turned away at the last minute. You can imagine how furious and disappointed they were. YoungBoy's manager, Alex Jr., blasted the venue on social media for backing out so late, calling it unfair to the fans who travel from all over just to see him perform. Refunds were handled through Ticketmaster, but the hit to the tour's momentum was major. And here's the wild part. Industry insiders confirmed that even though the venue cancelled, not YoungBoy's team, he still got his full payment, merch guarantees, and travel reimbursements for his entire crew.
They wanted to do the show. It got canceled abruptly by the venue. So because they didn't cancel, and usually if you see how these contracts read, is only time you don't get paid is if you don't do your deliverables, or what they call is like an act of God, like the building blow up or something, right? But no, they made it so they got paid.
Security issues only got worse as the tour moved forward. On October 13th at Colonial Life Arena, YoungBoy had to cut his set short mid-performance when a fan kept hurling objects, possibly bottles or pieces of clothing, onto the stage. You could hear the irritation in his tone as he grabbed the mic and addressed the crowd directly. "This is a YoungBoy show. Don't play with me tonight." Security quickly escorted the culprit out of the venue. After a tense 5-minute pause where the whole arena felt on edge, the concert picked back up. But incidents like that fueled the idea that every stop carried unpredictable energy, forcing YoungBoy to constantly take control of his crowd, mirroring his rebellious image perfectly. Then came Atlanta. On October 15th, 2025, chaos nearly erupted at State Farm Arena when a heated dispute broke out at the VIP entrance between YoungBoy's entourage, alongside big-name guest streamer Aiden Ross, and local police officers. Things got so bad that authorities initially denied entry altogether. The shouting match and physical posturing were all caught on camera, and for a moment, it looked like the night might be over before it started. Eventually, tensions cooled down, order was restored, and the show went forward, but the tension lingered. By October 17th, fallout from that confrontation led to the complete cancellation of a later rescheduled Atlanta show, with officials citing ongoing safety concerns. Through all this madness, smaller but frequent outbursts painted a vivid picture of just how intense these concerts have become. Fights kept breaking out mid-performance, with viral clips showing full-on brawls in pit sections whenever the tempo spiked. Fans have even stormed lower seating areas, flooding past overwhelmed security stationed at stairways and taking seats they didn't pay for just to get closer to the stage. There's video proof of guards getting completely overrun by the crowd, people grabbing chairs, rearranging them, and creating their own rows. Then there's the constant shadow of YoungBoy's beef with Lil Durk, adding another layer of volatility to every show. At concerts in Newark and New Jersey, fans shouting Durk's name or chanting "Free Smirk" instantly drew aggressive reactions. One clip shows a Durk supporter getting jumped by several people right after yelling his name, sparking a chaotic scuffle that security barely managed to contain before it got completely out of hand. To manage the growing tension, venues and city officials have rolled out increasingly heavy-handed security measures. We're talking about full metal detectors at every door, deep bag inspections despite no bag policies, added police presence both inside and outside the arenas, and in cities like New Orleans, entire blocks covered by hundreds of officers. The financial stakes are enormous. Each stop pulls in millions from tickets, merch, concessions, and parking, which is why major players like Live Nation keep pushing ahead, rescheduling when necessary and eating the costs of cancelled shows. Even with at least 4 full cancellations and dozens of serious security incidents, the Marser has stayed strong. By mid-October 2025, YoungBoy had already hit more than 30 cities, adjusting his shows by emphasizing fan connection, stopping mid-song to diffuse fights, spreading messages of unity, and keeping up the high-end production his fans expect. But to truly grasp why NBA YoungBoy's tour inspires this level of intensity, chaos, and loyalty from the streets, you have to understand the man behind it all, the one whose story fuels the movement. The real force behind the madness, NBA YoungBoy's impact on the streets. Born Kentrell Deshaun Gaulden on October 20th, 1999, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, YoungBoy grew up in conditions that would have crushed most people. His father was sentenced to life for murder, his mother battled addiction, and he was raised mostly by his grandmother in a cramped Section 8 apartment in one of the city's deadliest areas. This wasn't just being broke, it was survival mode every single day, moving through an environment where violence was normal and opportunity didn't exist. He stumbled into rap at just 11 years old after watching YouTube tutorials, recording his first songs using a $200 mic hooked up to his grandmother's old desktop in her living room. That self-made, rough-edged process became the core of his sound. Raw emotion layered over heavy trap drums, melodic auto-tune, and brutally honest lyrics. His delivery could swing from quiet reflection to pure aggression in a single verse. The production, usually eerie piano loops and ghostly synths, amplifies the loneliness and pain buried in his writing, making his music feel more like midnight confessions than party anthems. From those desperate beginnings, YoungBoy's rise has been nothing short of phenomenal. Since 2015, he's released over 26 albums, mixtapes, and EPs, amassing billions of streams worldwide. We're talking over 20 billion plays on Spotify, a YouTube channel with 10 million subscribers and more than 15 billion total views, making him the most watched rapper on the platform. His work ethic borders on obsession. Even while under house arrest or behind bars, he never stopped dropping music. Over 100 songs came out while he was confined to his Utah mansion under federal monitoring. But what keeps fans hooked isn't just his output, it's his message. YoungBoy's lyrics live in a space of contradiction, glorifying the grind while exposing its heartbreak. He'll rap about stolen cars, loaded poles, and chasing millions. But in the same breath, he's talking about pain, loss, and his mother's tears. His bars hit like diaries from a young man balancing survival and success. These aren't flexes, they're blueprints for kids trying to make it out of the same struggle. The phrase "never broke again" isn't just a label, it's a mindset, symbolizing defiance against poverty, endurance through systemic hardship, and a promise to never repeat the same generational cycles. His fans live and breathe that mantra. They show up to concerts decked out in green, hoodies, caps, slime emojis, and custom sneakers painted in neon shades that mirror his brand. The unity in the crowd feels almost tribal, like the music created its own culture. His fanbase, often calling themselves YB or Young ______, mostly consists of teens and young adults from inner-city backgrounds who see their own pain and hope reflected in his words. For them, a YoungBoy concert isn't just a show, it's therapy. It's a shared release of anger, loss, loyalty, and victory. They shout every lyric back at him, turning arenas into massive chants of survival. The loyalty runs deep. Critics have compared the connection his generation has with him to the way earlier eras revered Tupac or Lil Wayne. That's how personal it feels, the kind of bond that goes beyond fame and into legacy territory.
And what he's doing at these shows,
it ain't just the shows. That's what me and you had this argument a long time ago. No, not me. Zaire was up here too. But yo, they love like the way the generation after us looked at Wayne.
Zaire compared him to Tupac, and
is how
I know that was
they look at YoungBoy though.
I get it.
He's that nigga. Like they would die for this nigga for real.
Yeah. Clearly.
Reviews from concertgoers describe the energy as downright cult-like, no exaggeration. Collective sing-alongs that feel more like block reunions, where every lyric becomes a shared release for personal struggles reflected in YoungBoy's raw admissions of pain, anxiety, and survival. One fan from Ohio shared online that the concert felt like being part of something bigger than himself. Standing in that packed arena surrounded by thousands of people, all caught up in the same emotions, created a rare sense of belonging you don't often find anymore. But that kind of devotion has a darker edge. No cap. The same passion that builds unity can just as easily spark chaos, especially when rap rivalries spill into the crowd. The ongoing feud with Lil Durk, rooted in King Von's 2020 death and kept alive through constant diss tracks, has turned some concerts into symbolic war zones, where fans treat allegiance like a street-level loyalty test. This isn't just arguing or trash talk either. We're talking real brawls breaking out and security jumping in to stop things before they get deadly. The demographics behind his fanbase make it even more complicated. YoungBoy's influence on Gen Z and younger millennials, many still under 18, brings a volatile mix of raw passion and impulsive energy into venues that often aren't equipped to handle it. These young fans see him as larger than life, someone who made it out against impossible odds. He's bold, authentic, and completely unfiltered, embodying everything they wish they could be. That admiration sometimes spills over, mirroring the same aggression and defiance that fuels his music. Still, in the middle of all this turbulence, there are moments of genuine connection that show the positive side of his reach. Throughout the mass tour, YoungBoy has stopped performances mid-set to calm fights down, reminding the crowd, "We family here. Put that energy in the music, not each other." And it works. The lights come back up, the tension breaks, and the energy shifts back toward unity. He's brought fans on stage to celebrate birthdays, handed out stacks of cash straight from his pocket, and quietly kept up his habit of donating to local communities without publicity or press. In Atlanta, city officials even surprised him mid-performance with a peace pledge, presented by State Representative Inga Willis alongside local community leaders. YoungBoy looked genuinely moved, dedicating his encore to the kids watching, trying to make it out, tossing signed merch into the crowd and hugging fans pressed up at the barricade. But his criminal record continues to fuel his legend. From being locked up at 15 for robbery, to attempted murder charges in Austin that led to an aggravated assault plea, to the notorious 2018 Miami hotel footage showing him dragging his then-girlfriend by the hair across a lobby, to federal gun charges that sparked a 2021 FBI chase and arrest, his legal past reads like a headline reel. The feds even dubbed his case Operation Never Free Again, a jab his lawyers slammed as bias toward his brand. That case ended with house arrest in Utah, where prosecutors later accused him of running a prescription drug scheme. He ultimately received a 23-month sentence for firearm violations, before an early release to a halfway house in March 2025, and a shocking presidential pardon from Donald Trump 2 months later that wiped his record clean and cleared the path for the mass tour to move forward. Critics labeled it an act of unjust favoritism, while people from the trenches saw it as long overdue justice for a black artist unfairly targeted by the system. Every arrest, every headline, every scandal folds seamlessly into the story he tells through his music and the legend surrounding his name. His fans don't treat these run-ins as moral failures. They see them as proof of realness, evidence that YoungBoy truly lives the life he raps about. His openness about struggle and guilt, his verses wrestling with the damage violence caused his family, or lines about praying while the devil whispers in his ear, all of it creates a raw emotional connection that transforms his shows into something far deeper than simple performances. By October 2025, with the Massa tour more than halfway finished and his streams spiking nearly 30% after the New Orleans incident, NBA YoungBoy keeps proving that his reach goes far beyond the booth. His shaping habits, influencing the emotional language of a generation, building a subculture that's equal parts community and survival network for those who came up the hard way. Whether you see him as a casualty of circumstance or the mastermind of his own chaos, there's no denying his massive imprint on hip-hop and the millions of young people from the hood who see their own stories mirrored in his rise. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, tap one of the boxes on your screen to check out more content like this.